Welcome to ESE Online. Myself, Madhu Sekhar, faculty of ESE Engineering Academy and ESE Online from last 7 years onwards. I am here to discuss how to get good score in ESE 2023 mains without mistakes. How to write main answers in a descriptive manner that I am going to explain, especially for this mechanical stream. Now, here I am going to discuss the weightage analysis of this ESE mains from last 3 years, and also I am going to discuss the types of questions asked by the UPSC for this descriptive exam and answer writing skills and common mistakes in question cum answer booklet and correct filling of QCAB. All these things I am going to discuss one by one. First, I will discuss the weightage analysis of this mechanical paper 1. Okay. In paper 1, the highest weightage subject is thermal engineering. Here I am not subdividing this thermal engineering into like IC engines or and AC, refrigeration and air conditioning, power plant engineering, gas turbines. I am including all. So it is one of the good weightage subject. Then after that, fluid mechanics and turbo machinery, and after that heat transfer, renewable energy. So total marks 480. It includes the choices questions. Total actually for you are going to write for 300 marks. Okay, you are going to write for 300 marks, but here the total marks I am giving. Generally you are writing for 300 marks only, right? So most weightage subject is thermal engineering. Here you should focus more on that. Then the paper 2 analysis, if I consider, these are the different subjects like strength of material, fluid mechanics, strength of materials, theory of machines, machine design, production engineering, industrial engineering, engineering materials, mechatronics and robotics, engineering mechanics, maintenance engineering. So these are the subjects and their respective weightages from 2020, 21 and 22, right. So actually for prelims point of view, if you want to prepare for prelims, you should focus on all the subjects of basic fundamentals. You should cover all the subjects with the basic fundamentals, then only you will get good score. But for IES mains point of view, it's not like that. It's a descriptive manner. So you should focus more on the most important subjects so that you will get good score in that, right. So first priority should give for most important subjects, then after that the other subject you should give priority, right. So I'll explain how to prepare this, how to write answer skills here, how to write the answer paper, right. So let us consider first of all the types of questions asked by the UPSC. The type of questions asked by the UPSC I am going to discuss here. See, for your exam point of view, sometimes they'll ask you questions like definitions and working principles. So these definitions and working principles are very easy type questions they will ask you. Like simple example, you can say in year 2019, I think so, they asked a question, define phase. What is Gibbs phase rule? It's a theoretical based question, basic definitions, right? What is Grashoff's law? Explain different types of 4-bar mechanisms. Like that, okay, they will ask you questions with the basic definitions and sometimes working principles, right. Then also they'll ask you questions like classifications and types. This is also a theory and it is also easy one. Like they asked a question in 1 year, the I think 2021, I think so 22, they asked a question, classify the surface ordering methods, different surface ordering methods. You should, once if you write in the paper, that is more than enough. So classifications, theoretical based questions, classifications and types. Classify different types of gas turbines, right, this type of questions. Classify different milling cutters, etc. This type of questions they'll ask you. So this is also a theory, It's a very simple questions, it's a very simple concept. And next is derivations. So sometimes they may ask you questions that is related to derivation from any subject. So but these derivations are sometimes it's a difficult actually, right? So that's why I'm writing here the level of question is difficult here. But once if you practice some 2-3 times, it is easy only for you. And numericals, here I am dividing these numericals into two categories. One is static, second is dynamic. The static numericals are very easy to moderate. Once if you have good once if you have good fundamentals, it is easy to get good marks in that, right? But if we talk about the dynamic numericals, these numericals the UPSC will collect from the industries, realistic examples they will take and they will frame a question and they will ask you. So this type of question somewhat difficult, moderate to difficult. So it's very difficult to score in this region, it's very difficult, but this is the easiest region to score the numericals related to static data, the formula based numericals, the numericals related to formula very easy, so easy to score. And diagrams and sketches, sometimes they'll ask you questions diagrams, like a question they asked with a neat sketch, explain time temperature transformation diagram, with neat sketch, iron cementite phase diagram. This type of questions they will ask you. So diagrams and sketches are also very important and easy also. And finally applications, advantage and limitations, advantage and limitations also, applications also they will ask you, okay, questions. So these questions are also very easy. So listen carefully. Once if you start this preparation, you should start from basic definitions, working principles, okay, basic definitions, working principles, diagram related to this working principle, advantages of that, disadvantages of that, and applications. If you remember this order, anything, any concept, if you remember this order, so what is that order? What is the order? Definition, definition, working principle, working principle, definition, working principle, okay, diagram related to this working principle, diagram related to this working principle. Next, applications of this, applications, next applications, and then advantages, 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 and limitations, limitations. So you should focus on these areas, okay, definitions, working principle, diagrams, applications, advantage and disadvantage. So you should focus on these points. Suppose you are learning a turbine, a gas turbine, so you should learn all these points at least 1-2 steps, then it is easy to score, then it is easy to recall and easy to write in the exam paper. That's why should follow this pattern. And for numerical point of view, for each subject you select one textbook. The textbook is a reference textbook, it's a good textbook, and solve the solid numericals, solve the solid numericals, that is more than enough. But you don't need to worry, we are going to provide very good test series. We are also giving a proper classroom coaching and online coaching to give this type of numericals. In the classroom we are discussing unsolved numericals of a particular textbooks, so that will give you good advantage for you, right? So this is the pattern, the way of asking questions by the UPSC. Now listen, let us consider a 12-mark question or 15-mark question. Let us consider a 15-mark question. 15-mark numerical they asked. Generally that question, in case if it is asked in GATE, that is only 2 mark. In case in GATE exam you can solve that one within a fraction of minutes by substituting in the formula. But if you solve the numerical like that as per the GATE or objective prelims IS, you will not get good score. you will lose your marks. Maybe your answer is right, but you will not get 15 out of 15. So if you want to get 15 out of 15, you should follow some standard procedure. So they asked a question that is a 15-mark question, a numerical, let us say numerical they asked. So first you should write the given data. First you should write the given data. Then after that, if there is any assumption, or there are sometimes more than one assumption also there. In case in a question, if there is a material property you are using, let us say Young's modulus you are using, generally no material is homogeneous and isotropic. Every material is non-homogeneous and anisotropic, but Young's modulus value is constant given in the question. So by default you should assume the given material or a metal is homogeneous and isotropic. That is an assumption. A thermal conductivity is given in heat transfer. The thermal conductivity is not same in all the directions. So by you should consider an assumption that material is homogeneous and isotropic and the thermal conductivity is same in all the directions. So this type of assumptions you should assume. Sometimes in the question paper some data is missing, then you should consider the data by assuming that. Like let us say Avogadro's number is not given, then you should assume that Avogadro's number so and so value. You don't need to consider exact value. Let us say Avogadro's number 6.023 into 10 power 23 is not given. Then you should assume, let us assume the Avogadro's number is 6.0 into 10 power 23, then even they will consider, they'll accept that, right? So that's why assumption is very, very important. And then diagrams. See, for each question, at the right side of the answer sheet, if you draw a proper with a neat sketch a diagram, that will give you good advantage for you. It is going to impress the examiner, so that you'll get a good marks. And formula or theory used. So to solve this numerical, what type of formula you are using, right? What type of formula you are using, right? What theory you are using, that also you can use. And calculation, for calculation also some marks are there. And finally, very, 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 very important, most of the people after getting answer, let us say answer we got some 100 megapascal we got. So after getting answer 100, after getting, they will write like this and they will encircle it, they will paint it, they will sketch it like that. They will not give full marks. You should write the unit, that is very, very important. At the same time, at the end of the numerical, right, you should write a conclusion statement corresponding to that numerical, what they are asking. Sometimes at the end of the question, they will write a comment, like that they will ask you for this comment 2-3 marks are there. So don't miss that comment, you should write a comment related to that. So these things are smart works, should consider all these things, right? So should write the given data, and you should write the assumptions, you should write the diagrams, formula used, calculations, and finally conclusions. Then only you will get a good marks in that. Now here, general mistakes in conventional or a descriptive paper. Okay, now listen, the conventional descriptive exams not only in like ESE exam, but also it is there in the system is there in civil service exam and also in SSC JEE exam also. So you should be careful about this writing of these questions in a conventional manner. That is very, very important. Some of you people will do some silly mistakes, because of that they are losing their marks. That's why I am here to discuss that. Now see here, generally the UPSC's paper is like this, okay? UPSC paper is like this. They are giving right side some space, left side some space, and here they are giving. So you should write the answer only in this region. You should not write here and you should not write here. If you write here, they will not consider that one, right? So you should be careful about that. In case some rough calculations are there, then it is better to do here, okay? Main thing you should write here. And it's better to draw the diagram on the right side. On the right side, let us say the right side, you should draw the diagram this side. You should draw the diagram this side, this is a diagram space. For a question, this is a diagram space. And then here you should write the given data, but listen carefully, the space provided by the UPSC is very less, okay, and also extra papers they won't give. So within that minimum space you should write everything. So you should be careful, don't write the given data with the names like thermal conductivity, electrical conductivity, like that. Don't write like this, you will lose its space, right? So like use the symbols like thermal conductivity, diameter D1, D2 diameter, etc., like that. Young's modulus equal to dash, like that. Then after that, if there is any assumption, write here assumption, even if we keep heading assumption, then it is also impress the examiner. Then write assumptions point by point, like one assumption, by default the given material is like homogeneous and isotropic. And after that, the formula, what type of formula you are going to use, what type of formula you are using to solve that one, the formula you are going to use, that formula you should write. And also you should mention that formula is actually from this theory, that theory, like that. Like from the Hooke's law, sigma is equal to E into epsilon, that, like that you should write from the Hooke's law, from the Hooke's law, okay, from the Hooke's law. Now see here, sigma is equal to E into epsilon, then you should substitute. Then after formula, calculation, after formula, calculation, right? Then after that, after formula, calculation, then after that a conclusion statement you should write. Conclusion statement you should write. If you write the conclusion statement, it will impress the examiner, so that he will give good marks. And while doing calculation, some rough calculations, you can use this space for rough calculation. And remember, very important thing, the space you should use for calculation, rough calculations of this question only. Don't use this space for some other question, that question is not here, somewhere else here. Let us say question number 1, this is, okay, you should use this space for only question number 1. Don't use this space for some other question, third question or second question. That is going to lose your marks, impression, right? So like that you should write the data, you should write. If you follow this format, then even though your answer is incorrect, sometimes you will get good marks, right? That is very important for your exam. Now listen carefully, irrelevant matters written on question come answer booklet. Some, let's see here, this type of irrelevant matters writing on the question come answer booklet, that leads to bad impression on you. So some, they will not correct first of all, so you should not do that one, okay? You should be careful about that. So don't write irrelevant information on that, like this. Don't write irrelevant information on the question come answer booklet. Next is, see, matters irrelevant to answer should not be written. See, on the left side and on the right side, so matter irrelevant to the answer, don't write. Let us say question number 1, some 4 sub questions are there, A, B, C, it is okay, 4 questions, okay, but don't write some other question numbers here, so that you will lose your marks. So you should be careful. So matters irrelevant to answer should not be written. Matters irrelevant to the answer should not be written. Matters irrelevant to answer should not be written here. That is very important. And next, candidate should not write anything anywhere in QCAB which will disclose or disclose their identity. Now see here, let us consider the sample, right? Vineet has written name, so the identity of that person is disclosed here by writing here, so that is not going to be corrected. Should be careful about that, okay? Which is going to be disclosed their identity, that is not going to be written here. Next, Sometimes some of you people will do this type of mistake, signature they'll do the examiner signature it is, but some people they'll do like this type of things, should not do that one. Next, answering partly in ink and partly in pencil. Let's say this is written by the pencil and this is written by the pen. This is not good. In case if you want to use a pencil for only diagram purpose, you should use the pencil. Okay, don't write with pencil and pen like that. They are not going to be corrected that one. Examine that one, right? Next, direct or indirect appeal to the examiner. So don't do this type of things. Direct or indirect requesting to the examiner, please, these are my last attempt, please correct it, please give me good marks, like that. Don't do this type of silly things also in the paper. And bad or illegal handwriting. Some of you people at the end, like 5 minutes is going to end the exam, so most of you people will write like this, irregular matter, illegal, no one will understand this type of reading, so they will give you simply 0 marks, they will strike off this. So don't do this type of things also. Okay, don't repeat this type of things, don't do this type of things. And contravention of any other instructions, right? Now listen, this is very important. See, this is a question that is related to 4C, solution that is related to 4C. He has written below the 4D answer question. See, he strike off that 4D question and he written 4C answer here. That is not acceptable. You should write that answer within the given space, within the space given by the UPSC. Don't strike off other question and don't write below that. That will not give you marks for you. So you should be careful about that. So one question is given 10 marks, some prescribed space is given, you should write that answer in that space only. Don't go beyond that. Okay, don't strike off that another question and don't write below that. Okay, that is not good. That will not give marks for you. And correctly filled question come answer booklet. Here listen carefully, you should write the engineering service exam and mode of exam English, hall ticket number, all these things you should write in a proper order, then only will give full marks. And one more important thing, let us say a question is there, an answer you wrote, but at the end you understand, you find that that solution is not correct, then it should be cancelled like this. It should be border it, then you should write cancelled. You should write cancelled. Okay, then only they will consider. Okay, na, should underline this with cancelled, then only they will consider this one, otherwise they will not consider. This is very important for exam. Okay, na, right? And here finally, if you want to get good score, so try to write a good test series. Try to write a good test series. We are providing a very good test series with the standard questions, and we are also providing classroom and online courses. Those who are far away from this city Hyderabad, we are also providing online course and classroom course. Here in the classroom we will discuss good and standard questions, numericals, concepts we are going to discuss here, and proper guidance also we will give. Proper guidance also will give here, and we will also discuss some standard textbooks to get good score for this ESE mains. Okay, na, right? And all the best for your exam.